Another year, another Dracula game. Happy Halloween, guys, and welcome to a brand new Normal Entertainment Let's Play, Dracula Origins. Now, this is one not actually related to the previous three Dracula games, and it's not it's by a completely different company. Frogwares. It's also third person instead of first person. It is still French, though, as you can tell by the thumbnail. All the Dracula games seem to be made in France. I don't know what their thing is with how much they love making Dracula games. It's also not really the origins of Dracula. It's a retelling of the novel, but from the perspective of Van Helsing, which, I mean, seeing as how I've been a horror fan since fucking grade school, putting it from the perspective of Van Helsing is a way to make it actually interesting, because, like, I've seen infinity adaptations of Dracula, and something new is appreciated. Let's start a new game. Can't be worse than Path of the Dragon, though. That's still probably the worst game I've ever played. I'm not saying Aliens Colonial Marines was good, but it was at least better than Dracula 3. As for Superman 64, Batman Dark Tomorrow, and Ride to Hell Retribution, all better.
Sunlight, which can be fatal to them. There are very few ways in which to conquer a vampire. However, various legends and reference books about these creatures of the
This
night,
is Van Helsing,
as well as my own experiments, have affirmed the following. Firstly, vampires detest the smell of garlic. This preventative measure, used in a good number of regions subject to the depredation of these creatures, is omnipresent in the folklore of these aforementioned regions. Secondly, vampires cannot endure the fact that they cannot see their reflection in a mirror. This optical effect, which I feel confident I can witness, strikes them like a club, with the vacuity and aberrance of their existence. Thirdly, some storytellers mention an irrational fear of running water, as well as a specific vulnerability to silver bullets.
No, that's werewolves.
I have not been able to test and validate these theses.
Yes, because one of those is just for werewolves.
During the half a lifetime that I have dedicated to the research and annihilation of these creatures, I have only had as true recourse 3 weapons which have proven decisive. The crucifix foremost. Brandished with conviction, it fights off these creatures and prevents for a moment all attacks from them. Next, holy water. It serves to inflict wounds on the creature because it burns its flesh like acid. Lastly, a wooden stake is the final instrument of destruction. After having discovered the sanctuary of the enemy, one must profit from its damned slumber in order to strike with the greatest force into the beating heart of...
Professor, it's me. It's Maria, your lodger. Professor, there's a letter here. Can you hear me?
Yes. Slide it under the door.
Can I get you anything, Professor? Something to eat back?
I'd love a burger.
What? No. No, thank you, Maria.
But Professor, it's been 4 days now that you haven't been outside, is it?
Maria, I am trying
Cool
to...
clock tower
Leave
office.
me in peace.
Sounds like the gears would be irritating when you're trying to focus, but...
My friend, how can I allow you to leave? And what will become of you? I should have been in your place in this cursed castle and been destroyed by the one whom I have chased for years. You've had Mina, poor thing. What grief I will cause when I shall tell her the news. There isn't a moment to lose. We must inform Mina. She is in grave danger.
So, this is, I'm doing the Dracula games in order, like in order they came out. So this came out in 2008, so it's coming right after, it's the one after Dracula 3, because that's when it came out. But technically, if you were to do these chronologically, it's a prequel, treated as a prequel to Dracula the Resurrection. Even though that itself is a sequel to Dracula, specifically Bram Stoker's Dracula, given the fact that their Jonathan Harker is just Keanu Reeves. Dear Professor, it's a strange manner in which to commence a letter, but I hope you shall never have to read these words. For if that is the case, it is because a grievous destiny, who, worse even than death perhaps, has put an end to my existence. Know that at the time in which I write these lines, I find myself at the very heart of evil in one of the rooms of Count Dracula's castle. This missive will take many weeks to reach you, more time than my return trip to London, which I will make if I am able to carry through my terrible task. This letter would thus have no relevance, hence if you are reading this, pray for my soul. Finding the beast's lair was no simple task. The Count's subordinates are everywhere east of Vienna, and they maintain a veil of secrecy and terror regarding the very existence of our enemy. With forced persuasion, threats, and silver pieces, I managed to find the approximate location of the Count's grounds. During my trip to this accursed place, a chance placed a young scholar whose team had been attacked by bandits in my path. Grave wounds had forced him to take rest at an inn before he could resume his journey to Count Dracula's dwelling, where he was supposed to take inventory of the library. I appropriated the young man's letter of introduction and extracted from him the necessary pieces of information to get to the castle. I arrived on the night of the second day at an immense fortress seeping with death and corruption, where the origin of the evil that we're fighting is found. My first meeting with the Count left in me a memory that will haunt me till the end of my days. How to imagine such nobility, charm, and benevolence in the behaviors of a man who, only by his icy demented look, betrays his true nature? I was just as subjugated by his elegance as his intelligence. Upon my nocturnal arrival, we discussed at length my alleged library experience. He immediately noted my accent and asked questions that were both precise and direct. I was the mouse attempting to answer to the cat, and despite myself, I gave away my identity as well as my London heritage. He seemed to read into each of my answers, and it was the devil of a task to mutter an explanation of my presence. Here's a delegate from a large Viennese library. He had interrogated me regarding London and England, and seemed genuinely impassioned to hear about life in our capital. Then I had the misfortune of mentioning Mina, my dear betrothed, while recalling an afternoon spent boating. The Count pressed me in an almost impertinent manner to show me a photograph of her, though it should be show him a photograph of her. I complied and was then struck with an infinite terror by the Count's rapacious and carnivorous gaze as he examined the face of my loved one grasped between his hands. I feigned very believable fatigue and isolated myself in my quarters. Sleep did not find me that night or any of the following nights. Terrifying abnormal noises mixed with the howling of the wolves that swarmed the region. The Count has been absent for 3 days, but his abominable servant assures me he is to return tonight. I'll wait no longer to spring into action. This immense place oppresses me, and it seems that the shadows themselves are alive, observing me and tormenting me with their laughter. I miss Mina so much, what I wouldn't give to be by her side. I don't dare write her. She wouldn't understand the dangers that my mission involves. Assure Mina once again of my complete devotion to her, and if you receive this letter, ensure that she knows my last thoughts were of her. Your student and friend, Jonathan Harker. News Times, Thursday, September 8th, 1898. Domestic drama! A sad and bloody business took place yesterday at the first floor of a small residential building located next to the New Kent Road station. From interviews with neighbors, young Garrett Melford first killed his young wife Magdalene in a fit of jealousy before dying himself. The young married couple had moved in only 2 months ago, and Mr. Melford was employed as foreman at Grimble and Bromsby Cement Works. Various testimony confirms that early in the evening, in the absence of her husband, Mrs. Melford admitted an elegant man dressed in black into their flat. Shortly thereafter, Mr. Melford returned to the domicile after a long day of work. As soon as he entered the flat, an eerie and colossal black bird flew out of one of the windows in the direction of the National Gallery. A cry could be heard, as well as the sounds of a struggle, and finally a gunshot. After an alarming silence, some of the neighbors entered into the flat, only to find Mrs. Melford stretched out lifelessly on the bed, with a bleeding wound to the neck. Mr. Melford was sitting on a chair, his skull agape, and a still-smoking pistol at his feet. A small crowd gathered around the place, which most certainly allowed the third player in this drama the opportunity to abscond. Upon the arrival of the police, they concluded that it was a murder of passion followed by a suicide. Even though the exact unfolding of the events as well as the identity of the latest nocturnal visitor are still unknown. Note, the testimonials taken at the crime scene are very troubling, particularly in regard to this eerie and colossal black bird. See last Tuesday's edition for our report on an equally unnerving event.
Come in, Professor.
Hello,
I'm
Mina.
pleased to see you. Please excuse the disorder in my attire, but I haven't had the strength to attend to the housekeeping this morning.
Oh, yeah.
But what is going on, Mina? And where is your servant?
Jenny is absent. She's with her sister. My God, I am at a loss for words. We found her poor sister yesterday, dead. An atrocious crime. Today's newspapers gives the heinous details. The police came here to break the news to Jenny. She was shocked and had to go to the police station to identify her sister. What a tragedy. She was my junior by 3 years and now she's dead.
I hate your voice.
What a paltry hostess I am. To what pleasure do I owe your visit? Have you received news of Jonathan?
Ah, not at the moment. I came to see if all was well. Jonathan repeatedly insisted I take care of you. I reckoned. Could I take you for a stroll in the park, perhaps?
Nothing would give me greater pleasure. I must alter my thoughts. Give me a few moments in order to ready myself.
I did not have the courage to break the sad news to her, but it must be done sooner or later. What could have happened to this poor young girl? Mina told me that it was mentioned in the papers.
Got a lot more to read. The Courier. The bloodless corpse of a chambermaid found near the banks of the Thames. 2 youths residing near the Cursed Mermaid pub located near the warehouses at Southwark Bridge made a macabre discovery yesterday while they were playing in a lane. The pale, bloodless corpse of young Carlotta Perry, 23, was lying behind a stack of wooden crates. The woman was fully clothed and, based on the first official report, her death is due to precise incisions to the neck, which caused her blood to drain. A curious point is the almost complete absence of blood on the ground near the corpse. On the other hand, a few local trollops seem to be led directly towards a wall located on the banks of the Thames, and the proprietor, who has been assisting the police in their investigations, confirms having seen them continue to the roof in the same direction, that is towards Tate Art Gallery. The precise circumstances and, more importantly, the motivations of such a barbaric act are still unknown. The victim, an exemplary servant, had an excellent reputation and led a life without incident.
Vampires possess numerous powers, such as uncommon physical capabilities and the ability to transform into bats. Beautiful roses.
Sounds almost contemptuous. I can understand that. I hate flowers too.
It is a photograph of Harker. Mina is very much in love with him.
Daily Big Mirror. Blood settling of scores between prostitutes. Yesterday evening, shortly after 10 p.m., the lifeless corpse of the lovely Sarah McAllister, 19, was found lying under a porte-cochere at the intersection of Tottenham Court and Euston Road. She is undoubtedly the latest victim of the frequent brawls between prostitutes who back down at nothing to defend a more lucrative workplace or to displace a rival whose physique is more in demand. According to a number of her workmates, who preferred to remain anonymous, the beautiful Sarah didn't have time to get down to business on her first night before her career was finished for good. The local constabulary, ordinarily of a slothfulness without equal, but for their inefficiency in solving this type of case, nonetheless have built a strong case which will permit them, as is the case once per century, to arrest the person responsible for this crime. In fact, the death of the young apprentice is due to 2 thrusts of a very small pointed weapon to the neck. A police squadron passed a good part of the night shaking down all of the ladies of the night who have styled their hair in a bun with the aid of a knitting needle. One of them, Maria Cole, 39, also known under the aliases Janet the Parrot, Mother Goose, Mammy Bloomers, and Debbie of Epsom, is under particular scrutiny by the investigators. Her booth faced that of the beautiful Sarah, and all they could get from her were drunken mutterings regarding a stranger who, after quickly finishing with the girl, jumped in a single bound onto the roof of a neighboring house before fleeing in a straight line towards St. George's Cathedral. I'd wager that this parrot should find another tune to sing if she wants to convince the authorities of her innocence.
Damnation! This cannot be a coincidence. Harker's letter spoke of his host's interest in London. I must get to the bottom of this.
Holding space will show you all the usable areas.
This pile of newspapers must have belonged to Harker. He kept them to help him in his hunt. Perhaps I will find the article to which the News Times made reference today.
Be last Tuesday, so...
These articles surely contain some clues which will permit me to discover where the perpetrator of these wrongdoings has taken refuge.
Faithful parishioner escapes the claws of a demon. A faithful parishioner escapes the claws of a demon. Last night, a prudent and devout young lady, Miss Ethel Basingstoke, narrowly escaped the assaults of lunatic. You should be a lunatic, or rather a demon from hell, in her own words. Miss Basingstoke, 21, who is to be married next month, was exiting St. George's Church, where she mends clothing for the poor, when she was assailed by a satyr dressed in black with flaming red eyes and possessing the strength of 10 men. Shouldn't the satyr be in quotations, or are you actually saying that a ancient Greek goat man did this? Whatever. Miss Basingstoke explained that the man forced her to cleave herself to him, crushing her to the point of suffocation with his titanic strength, rendering all resistance futile. Her last act before such a dishonorable death, she said, was to bring her hand up to the cross hanging from her neck and to say a prayer. The man became furious and screamed words in an infernal language as his intended victim sank to the ground before fainting. Miss Basingstoke swears to have seen her assailant change into a winged demon who escaped with an uproar in the direction of Victoria Station.
Harker's map of London, quite detailed. These articles surely contain some clues which will permit me to discover where the perpetrator of these wrongdoings has taken refuge.
Okay, so St. George's Church. Oh, right, pencil.
Here is the place where this young religious woman was attacked by this demon.
Okay, Harker, Helsing, I don't know why you have it in quotations there. You know it's a demon. You know vampires are real.
And that's the direction which the aggressor took to escape.
Okay, and then there was one at Tottenham Court? No, not Tottenham Court. Euston Road. So erase that.
Ah, here is the spot where McAllister was found lying under a porte-cochere.
And did you go to St. George's Cathedral?
And that's the direction which the aggressor took to escape.
And then there was one at not Waterloo Bridge. Southwark Bridge?
That's where the corpse of Jenny's young sister was discovered.
And they went towards the Tate Art Gallery.
And that's the direction which the aggressor took to escape.
The last one I remember was at New Kent Road. We're on New Kent Road.
Here is the Melfords building.
And you went towards the National Gallery.
And that's the direction which the aggressor took to escape. All of these paths cross at a point. Godalming Manor, next to Bloomsbury Cemetery. I must get there as soon as possible while it is still day. The park and Mina will wait.
The link between the recent attacks in London. It seems that all the ways that the assassin took to escape after each attack cross at one point, Godalming Manor, next to the Bloomsbury Cemetery. Without a doubt, the demon must have a lair. I must find it, destroy it if I can. The hour of confrontation approaches.
My dear child, I had forgotten some urgent business that calls me elsewhere in London.
We aren't going to the park.
It is
You sound
only
like an
postponed
8-year-old.
for the time being. But I would like you to do something for me. Could you please find me a dozen bulbs of garlic from one of the markets? Bring them here and hang them near the windows.
Near the windows?
Mm-hmm.
Ah, yes. I do not have the time to explain it to you, but you must do this for me. And if a stranger comes to see you and claims to be here on my behalf, or that of Jonathan, do not, under any circumstance, let them in.
You are alarming me, Professor. Should I be worried?
Yeah.
No, it is nothing. At least, I think not. All will be well. I shall return this evening, and we shall dine together. If I am still alive.
Yeah, that's not going to alarm her at all, dude. Okay. Bloomsbury Manor. Goldsmith. Wherever the fuck we are. I can't remember the name.
Godalming.
That's the one. Godalming.
How can I be of service?
Hello.
Put down your
I
stick,
am
please.
Professor Ernesto Slavokopit from the Agricultural University of New Hampstead, connected to the Center for Cheese Proficiency.
You're a great liar.
I have just retired and have been looking in London for a quiet new residence that is large enough to shelter my expansive research material.
You had this prepared, didn't
Now
you?
your dwelling, or rather that of your employer, corresponds exactly with what I am looking for. Will you announce me so that he and I can discuss a potential offer?
The master ID and he told me.
He told you what?
What?
Your master. What did he tell you? Certainly to welcome visitors with politeness during his absence and allow them to wait in the lounge. Isn't that correct?
The master told me to crush the big flies that buzz about here and bother his sleep. He even told me I could eat him if I wanted to.
Bother his sleep. Interesting. I must find a way to enter this location.
Freaking weirdo.
Bloomsbury Cemetery. Rather unappealing.
We're going in anyway, Professor Van Helsing. Very different from Gabriel Van Helsing from the really good Van Helsing video game. I liked
These
it.
flies are enormous and rather aggressive. They are unusual specimens. Ugh, what stench. Closed.
You mean locked. Hello?
2 bottles of wine. Empty. I doubt if the Undertaker can offer me much help.
He's not an undertaker, he's a gravedigger. There's a difference. Little hook thing, I'll take that.
This might be useful. I am taking it. Hello, my good man. I would appreciate some information on the house next to your beautiful...
Oh, got me no time to natter like an old lady, mister. Got me a tomb to dig, and take my word for it, tain't no piece of cake.
You are digging a tomb. Wouldn't one use an ordinary shovel for this kind of labor?
Oh, right you are, mister, but mine is in the tool shed, and the combination lock is busted. Impossible to open the confounded door. I'm almost done anyhow.
So the guy looks a lot like the gravedigger from the movie Van Helsing. Same hat, same hair.
Have you worked here long, sir?
Long's my name. Oh, I've been slogging away here for a wee bit. I used to work in tarring, you know, and I've bartended a wee bit too. Now I got me the best of both. I'm dirty from morning till night, and the clients never complain about the service.
Fair enough, I guess.
And you do not know the combination of this lock?
Well, you know, as it happens, it'd be the boss who put it on, see? It's stronger than the old one, on accounts of the blighters who lurk around the cemetery at night this past while. He told me the combo, but,
Let me guess. You forgot it.
Mister now, I'd be a grave digger, me, not a pen pusher. Have to wait till the boss gets back to open it. I'll use my mitts while I wait.
If you would happen to remember some of the numbers, I could perhaps try to open it. All combinations have their logic, generally.
Oh, ain't likely, mister. I can't remember a thing. Oh, wait. He said that if I drew them right, it would help to think of the ages of J.B. Lemon and his wife, marked on their mausoleum now. A real joker, the boss.
And where is this mausoleum located?
Near the north stairs, cross from the entrance, yeah. I ain't been to see, 'cause, well, I got me better things to do, I do. It don't matter, 'cause, well, I figure, oh, well, if you think, yeah. Hey, now, he also said to flip the numbers I'd find. So, like, a 6 makes 9, upside down. Whatever.
All right,
I
weirdo.
shall leave you to your work then.
Right then, Gov.
Okay, gotta find the graves and the combination.
This cemetery encloses some fairly imposing mausoleums. Real houses. It is a martyred angel. Lovely flowers. They seem to resemble those that I saw at Mina's, but these seem to come from wild rose bushes.
We should take them. I think vampires have a weakness to them.
The same roses as a moment ago. The mausoleum of J.B. Lemon. Perfect. I can read the inscription like that. Let's see.
On the two mentioned by Long, the dates of the names are John Bruce Lemon, 1703 to 1772, and Susie Lemon, 1722 to 1790. So... '69... 69, 68, which is 89, 96. Yeah, 89, 96, I think. Remember, we had to flip it over. No. Okay, so 69. So 6, 9, 6, 8 becomes 8. 6, 9, 6, 8. 6, 9. I'm. I'm not seeing it in my head, so I gotta use a pen. 6, 9, 6. 8, 9, 6, 9. Alright. I just wrote it down on a piece of paper and flipped it over. No, that's wrong. Alright, gotta use the walkthrough because I'm bad at math. 6968. Okay. I thought you had to flip the whole thing upside down. Oh, 9698. Ah!
Open.
Okay, we're in the shed now. Totally where we want to be. I guess. So you can take the spade for the gravedigger.
A shovel. That could help the Undertaker.
Ooh, a lot of stuff here.
This might be useful. I am taking...
I'm glad he has no frickin' scruples. That's good for an adventure game protagonist.
This statue was carved recently. The Undertaker's cloakroom, most likely.
Hey, use what you got, right? Lantern, always useful.
A lantern. I'll take it. Night will soon fall. The Undertaker's storeroom, undoubtedly.
Alright, that's everything here. Let's give the guy a shovel. Upside the head, if need be. Hello, sir.
I gots to get digging, otherwise I'd be forced to bury elsewhere.
Godalming Manor.
There it is, my man. The door is open. You should be able to finish your work in time. Now, I wish you to tell me about Godalming Manor, next to the cemetery. It's inhabited. Is that not correct?
Rightio, mister. But hasn't been that way long, no. Nothing moves during the day. Ain't been a single soul. But at night, haha, there's something else, eh? I assume that it's one of them blokes over there who've been rummaging around in this cemetery at night. That's why the boss put the blasted lock on the shed. Hasn't seemed to stop him, though. The only one bothered is me. Don't need the shovel now. Almost done.
Have you perhaps heard of another entrance to the manor?
As for another entrance, I couldn't say, mister. The old watchman, the bloke who made the statues, he knew a bit about around here, so yes. Said something about a tunnel between the cemetery and the manor. He did, yes.
Tell me, can I speak with him?
Not likely, as the old man's dead.
Of course.
He's in the mausoleum down low. It's got 2 monks at the entrance and a big rusted grill. He's resting there with his sweet book, and it'll say something about the passage. But I ain't got a clue how to get in. No visitors and all.
I shall leave you to your work then.
Right then, Gov.
So right and right again. No, that's not right. Whoa. Okay, try to get to the gate. There's an inscription on the ground, but it's dark. There's always a cemetery. I think this is the 4th one of these games I'm playing, and there's still a cemetery. Not surprising, though. I mean, it's Dracula. But
Rather sinister, this mausoleum, with its 2 monks at the entrance. Ah, this must be the mausoleum of the former watchman. There is an inscription on the ground, but I cannot read it because of the darkness.
Tomb's inscription on the tomb mentioned on the ground of the former watchman's crypt. I was able to distinguish a text engraved in stone. It is impossible to read it because of the utter darkness. I must find a way to illuminate it. Perhaps the text may help me open the grate that encases the tomb. So what we're supposed to do is take the iron pole. Okay, iron bar at the top right. What? Right clicked. Ah, okay. I wouldn't have thought of any of this.
There, the grate is slightly ajar. I must now get the lantern through.
Ah, okay.
Perfect. I can read the inscription like that. Let's see. I will recopy all of that.
The archangel guarding this tomb will not let in, but he whose heart is pure and grief is genuine. If your despair makes him ululate, he will open the iron gate. But in order to move him, you must first sever the stone heart of the celestial henchman right there. Henchman right there. Up high to down low you will go. The blood of the eyelids will flow.
This poem seems to indicate how to enter the mausoleum.
Can I take my lantern back? Okay. Oh, you've got the stuff back automatically. Excuse me. First angel.
This finely worked plate has the appearance of a mechanism.
Okay.
When the saint sacrifices himself to redeem our sins, the demons drink his blood, and the pure cry on him. No, it is not that. Try again.
Drink for the demons, and cup, and cry for the saints. Okay, this is a little weird.
Useless.
What did I do wrong? Is this a demon? It is.
There. Perfect.
And I think that's where we'll leave it for now. I've been Merrick D'Amato, and this is already better than the last one. Not that that's really difficult to beat. Happy Halloween! Hi, thanks for watching. This has been played and recorded by me, Merrick D'Amato. The art was by Rafael Agrona. You can find a link to their commission page in the description below. And if you like this video and want to see more like it, like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and see you all next time. Ciao!